Hello there folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel, a place where I discuss different topics like spirituality, introspection, dream analysis, game analysis, and other ideas that people might ask, or I might have different conversations with others and end up with awesome ideas to share. So if also you happen to be a game designer or game developer and you're looking for someone to give you some constructive feedback on your project, feel free to give me a link and, well, I'll make at least one video about it and explain things based on what I can understand. Now, the point of this video is another concept that seems to be plaguing humanity, a concept which is called the peace of mind. Okay, now this peace of mind has risen in popularity, and nowadays people are using it as if it's something that one may not live without. But what exactly is this peace of mind? Well, people may simply forget that whatever they are doing is nothing else than furthering themselves as much as possible from that which they truly are, because the world of consumerism has only one single purpose: to pull you away as much as possible from who you are by making you look always outwards. And also Christianity and other religions kind of have achieved this, because when you have people always look outside for help and validation, they kind of forget who and what they are internally, and they forget that a lot of potential lies within, potential that will not called be on if people still struggle with looking outside. Now, a hideous thing that I'm seeing around the world is that people are lacking more and more attention. Of course, this has always been, but I'm somewhat becoming more aware of this. A big problem stems from this because you might come across some people who, for the sake of attention and gaining your attention, they will do you a lot of things. I'm not saying about bad things, but they will do you good things without even asking you. Of course, you might be dummy enough to accept them, but the biggest problem that stems from here is that those people might actually end up having expectations from you, although you never asked anything from them. So, all these things, okay, show definitely that there is no such peace within. But is there anything like peace in the end, okay? Because there has been a nice book, 1984, which I heard from Ralph Smart's videos, and the book speaks about a dystopia. But considering how things have been going in today's society, if one takes a look at that book, it's more like becoming more and more like reality, because, well, things quite are like that. And in that book it was said that war is peace. Okay, and everything is basically in reverse. I actually made a video on why the master is the slave and the slave is the master, okay, because many people have the impression that these roles are exactly and specifically like this in, let's say, the best, most suitable example, that of sadomasochistic relationships. Okay, but it is always the reverse, because the slave is the one who says how they want to be treated by the master. Even if they don't say it, they allow that, okay, and as they allow that, okay, they pulse it subconsciously, and the master just obeys that, okay, or the so-called mistress. So everything in this life is in reverse, because the truth can never be taught. We have schools nowadays that teach people the so-called truth, but the truth can only be realized if you only are told the truth and you're not ready. You will laugh in other people's faces. Most likely this happened to you when you told something you knew it was real and it was true, and you told that to certain people, but they just ignored you or they just laughed in your face because they weren't necessarily ready to accept it and they didn't realize it, okay? Because just being told something which you haven't experienced, well, it doesn't do you anything, because if you haven't experienced it, you can either accept it or you can simply deny it. But if you accept it, that's why it is called I understand, because you do not stand in that power, okay, of that knowledge, of that wisdom. You do not stand in it, you just understand, okay? You have not realized the significance and the power of that. So the nature of life, okay, if you look at everything around you. The nature of life is to always throw things in your face, in your life, as well, things have to be solved. Most people actually live life subconsciously, and the problem is that, well, allowing circumstances to simply fulfill your existence and do, do things for you is not a good way to live, because when you allow circumstances, you have so little control over some of the results. Now, the point is, we already have very little control over what things can go like in life, because there are so many factors to take into account. But the point is, many people say that they lack this peace of life. Well, if you're interested so much in this so-called peace of mind, the only way you will find it is in the graveyard. That's where people are, and where people will always be the most peaceful. Because if you look at dead people, they are the most peaceful. You can do them whatever you want and they won't flinch a muscle. A dead body is basically, because there is no such thing as dead people, but okay. So the point about the peace of mind, okay, it's not something that you strive towards, okay, it's just something that you accept. Just like love has been propagated in this society, and also there is the idea of self-love, which is even more hideous. Now, love is just a frequency to which you connect and which you let flow through you. You don't manifest so-called self-love, okay? When you connect yourself to this vibration, you automatically become more self-caring, but it's not self-love, because love is just a vibration. Love just flows through you, and you can only flow it outwards from you, okay, through compassion and other deeds and gestures that you do towards others, okay. But it's just connecting yourself to such a source. There is no such thing as self-love, because you're not producing this love, okay. The body reacts chemically to it. Like, for example, in cats, they when they feel love flowing through you, okay, they will come and start purring, right? They will start purring, and they will, play with you, because cats have a natural aspect of drawing on negative energies, okay? They are very good alchemists that can balance some energies, but they might end up, taking more than they can, so they need someone with a more powerful aura. So that is how you can actually take animals into account, okay? If animals are stepping away from you, most likely your aura, your vibration is kind of disturbing, okay? And, well, if they see you like that, animals will usually step away from you because they see you as something suspicious. But if you're positive and you have this so-called love within you, animals won't bother about you, because you're just like any other animal, okay? Bees won't sting you, and no other animal will, okay? So the point about this is this peace, okay, means nothing else than inner balance, okay? This is not some kind of achievement like in video games for which you have to grind or for which you have to do something, okay? Peace can be achieved through, well, let's say even meditation, in the sense that what this peace of mind means is realizing that you have the power to react to literally everything, okay? And the fact that you react to everything is what lowers this peace, okay? Now, peace of mind also means that you are responsible for the thoughts that you put out and how you react to things, because the mind will never be peaceful. You have to understand the mind has thousands of layers of it, each more capable than the others to screw you around, okay? That is why people get so entangled in the mind. More so, the more you add to your mind, the more knowledge you acquire. The point is, well, as you acquire such knowledge, you're basically giving your mind so many more ways of actually screwing you over, okay? And everything you feed yourself with, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, okay, everything that you watch, everything that you listen to, right, the vibrations that bombard you at your house, right, all of these actually have some mental influences, okay, more or less, but still small influences, because you have to understand this galaxy, okay? If this galaxy is held together by the gravitational pull of a black hole, a supermassive black hole, which lies in the middle, okay? Now, the point is, well, science says it is like 27,000 light years away from us. But if its gravitational pull is so strong that it holds this galaxy together, it definitely has at least a minor influence on us. So definitely other star objects and planets, okay, also have an influence on us, okay. Now, these influences are just like consciousness, okay. They are unconscious, okay, and it means that they are impulsive. How you react to all the impulses within you, which stem from stellar influences, other people's influences, your ancestral influences, okay, because you have the history of the universe in each and every one of your cells. Okay, so that is one point. So take care of all of these, okay. The way you simply handle your mind, okay, by not reacting to things, this is what determines your peace of mind, okay. Your peace of mind is not something that you have to grind for. You don't have to do theoretically much. You just have to make peace with whatever thoughts there are in your mind. I have said in other videos that how to use your mind is very simple, okay. Just use it as a self-diagnosis tool. Every pop-up, okay, every thought that pops up into your mind, well, it is a thought that simply exists for a certain reason, right? It exists there because you have taken it from others have planted it into you. It may sound very difficult to pull away from your mind, but that is actually the point, okay. You have to understand that your mind is basically like a cornfield, or, well, basically a field with all sorts of plants. There will be a lot of weeds in some people's minds. The more chaotic they are, basically, the more weeds there are. But you simply have to let them there, because the more you mingle with the mind, the more it will screw you over. Okay, so the point is, whatever thoughts come in your mind, just let them flow. Do not react to them, because the more you react to those, you're basically feeding the mind a lot more energy. You have to take your mind as a computer, okay? Every time you think of the thoughts, okay, or you use your mind, it's basically you're powering up that computer. It's the same is with your thoughts, okay? When a thought comes into your mind and you react to it, you put out some emotional and psychological wave into it, okay, which means you're turning on your computer, so you're giving it some power to work even more, okay. And the mind's superpower is that it can show you literally anything, okay, and it can even convince you that that thing is real. If you don't believe me, take for example your fears. Now, fear stands easily for false evidence appearing real, okay. So the point about this is that only appears to be real, okay. How many times have you had silly fears, okay, even fears that seemed, apocalyptically true and nothing else can happen otherwise? But if you take life into account through the small prism of the mind, okay, or the prison of the mind, well, you're almost always going to be wrong, because life itself in its entirety is represented by 114 chakras in our own body, okay, energy centers, which these chakras are, and the mind is only represented by 3. So the point is, if you think you are going to understand the entirety of life through just 3 chakras out of the 114, well, you're already on a very wrong way. So happiness, peace of mind, all these are just quotes nowadays that some people and their dumb courses and the such seem to be just abusing so that they can take your money, okay. The only reason why people who do Western yoga, which is more like in many cases it is more like a fluke, because if you want to do the real yoga, you go to India where it was created, or people who actually know what that is, and not some mindless stretching that people in the Western world have ended up believing in. And the reason why those things seem to work is because people no longer do the same things that they do each and every day. They finally are in a different place where they no longer need to focus on the circus they are playing in their own mind, right? Problems with their parents, with their relatives, work, everything is bad in life, but nothing is bad in life, only the traumas that you are building in your mind, okay, the karma that you are also building in your mind, those are bad things, okay, because the moment you don't react to things, and this doesn't mean not being emotional, okay, or disregarding your emotions, because your emotions are valid. If something sucks, if you have a bad emotion about something, chances are it is actually very bad for you. So these things are just little distractions of corporations, because even non-governmental organizations function by this principle. They collect people that have certain weaknesses, and then they program their minds to work in such a way that they become fully distracted from the circus and traumas that they are building in their mind. That is why they feel so safe and secure. It is a very perverted psychology, and well, especially in the last 70 years after the Second World War, there have been a lot of experiments going on, in judging how the psyche of people works. Because why would you study psychology? Well, the only purpose of psychology in this society is how to fool the human mind and how to have people under control. It's the only purpose of psychology. Sure, some people might say that it does this, it does that. No, it doesn't matter what it does, okay? The only purpose of psychology is how to fool people, how to take their money, and how to make advertisements even more aggressive. You don't believe me? Look at video games and look at how everything is advertised in this world. You'll see that true psychology lies in there, not in people lying in a dumb building and you have to pay them a little sum so that they can be your imaginary friends. No, those are not psychologists. Those are just little pranksters, okay? They might know something or they might not know something. It doesn't matter, okay? Those are simply insignificant in what I am concerned, because real psychology, okay, is that which you see in advertisements, okay, the aggressiveness of that, the aggressiveness that there is in video games, in online environments, okay, not necessarily video games, in how everything is sold and how the whole society actually works, politics and, diplomacy, human relationships, and even society as a whole, okay, the societal aspect of this society, okay, the way people interact with those. That is real psychology, okay, when you look at people, okay, when you see how they react, how they respond, their patterns, okay, that is what I call applied psychology, okay, that is what I'm actually actively doing, reading people and learning things about them. I don't need other people's books, okay. They might have their own points, but I'm not interested in what Freud would say back in the time, because I'm not here to understand how Freud thought. Now, I'm not saying Freud is a crook or whatever. He is who he was, okay? He has lived his life, okay? He has made awesome discoveries. He's also very difficult to understand for most people. But what I know is I came here to learn things my way. And I'm not here to necessarily, undertake other people's ways of thinking, because those most likely won't fit me. That is why many people fail in society, because they think that other people's ways are actually their own way. And this is another thing that is ruining the so-called peace of mind, okay? Now, the peace of mind means just being one with your own thoughts, okay? Just let them flow and be very mindful and careful towards what you feed your mind with, because everything you have fed your mind till now, directly and indirectly, exists in there more or less. Such things also dissipate, and when they dissipate, they enter the subconscious mind, which means they will no longer bother you consciously, but those little impulses will still remain in there. And if not tended properly, okay, and if you keep feeding those subconsciously with traumas and such, well, they will haunt you even beyond this current life that you are having. Okay, so the point about this peace of mind, okay, is that you can simply achieve it. You don't need meditations, okay, because when you listen to other people's meditations, that is a distraction. It is a distraction. It is distracting you from what you are. It makes your mind wander and no longer thinking about the circus in your mind and the traumas and the drama that you are creating. Well, that is why you are feeling very nurtured, right? That is why you are feeling actually very good. It is a very advanced psychological trick that many people overlook, and they look at it as if it's just nothing, right? So don't use meditations if you want to address a certain problem, okay? Meditate by yourself, okay? You can go in nature or I don't know, somewhere and have at least 5 minutes in which you spend those for yourself. You don't have to meditate a whole hour, okay? No one will probably be capable, especially in the Western world where there are so many distractions. You won't be able to meditate for yourself for a whole hour necessarily, okay? But just start with half a minute, okay? Just start with half a minute in which you ask yourself, why do certain thoughts exist? keep asking questions and stop doubting yourself. Okay, this is the easiest way to achieve the so-called peace of mind, because there is no peace of mind out there. If you seek other people's help to achieve peace of mind, you've already lost your peace of mind. Okay, now it doesn't mean that there aren't some people who can actually help you, but they can only help you with some tips, some advice, okay, some, I don't know, a bit of caring, probably a hug. So emotional support, psychological support, and something like that. But the real peace of mind, you have to take care of yourself. The other people are, the ones that can supply you, let's say the weed removers, but you're the one who actually has to use those. Okay, and I'm seeing an awesome 10-10, which means that life is awesome and, well, everything is aligning in my favor. So all these things being said, hopefully you understood something from this video. I know it feels a bit all over the place. This is how my intuition, well, actually not intuition, my guidance has been feeling as of late, but I'm still throwing out some videos so that, I keep this channel busy and, growing one step at a time. I'm still working on my video game, so don't you worry about that. I haven't made any logs as of yet because, well, I have been correcting certain stuff and expanding on certain stuff, and I really don't feel like, putting out literally every little detail. And, well, I've had several crashes, but I'm back into business, handling the ground floor of the university. Also, the third floor has been on hold for now, but I will pick up the pace there as well. So all this being said, take care of yourselves. You are loved and appreciated. Ferenc Can Bor signing out.